I'm Taylor with North of the River, and I'm here with Harper. Are you going to say hi? And today we are making homemade pasta. So for homemade pasta, you need 4 things: all-purpose flour, eggs, olive oil, and salt. But first, we always start with clean hands, right? And then next, super easy. So we're going to pour our flour into this big bowl. Harper, do you want to pour the flour in? Okay. So you're going to pick up the bowl. You can help me. And we're just going to dump it in like that. And then we're going to take our fork and we're going to make a hole in the middle of our flour. So Harper, you want to help me with the fork? So we're going to take it.
I know how to.
You do? Okay, let's do it. Big hole. Perfect. Okay, are we ready to add the eggs now?
I make cattle hole.
Make a big hole. So after we have our flour in the bowl, we're going to add our eggs one at a time. What's really good to do with eggs is to crack them into a separate bowl. So if there's any shell or if the egg's rotten for any reason, and you can just go dump it into the sink or trash or wherever and not have to restart completely with your pasta. So we're going to crack our eggs one at a time. And then Harper is going to dump our eggs into the bowl. One.
Can I do it?
You want to help? Ready? We're going to crack. 1, 2, 3. Good job.
I
Right, we're back. We had a little hiccup with our eggs. We got one all over the floor, so we cleaned it up. That's also why we like to use a separate bowl for when accidents happen. So we have our eggs in. Now we're going to add in our salt and our olive oil. So now at this point, that's all the ingredients that we need for this pasta dough. I'm going to take the fork and you're going to do it in 1 second. You're going to take the fork and just start whisking to break down those egg yolks and start mixing in the liquid with the flour. So,
Can I do it?
You want to try it?
Yeah.
Very gentle. So at this point, the dough is going to start forming, and once you get it loosely put together, we're just going to cover it and let it sit for about 20 minutes. Okay, ready? I'm going to help you out. Hold. Go like this. Okay, so once you get your flour and everything mixed together, you should be able to roll it into a ball similar to this. If it feels a little dry, go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of water at a time until it becomes a little moist to touch. After this, we're going to go ahead and cover it with saran wrap and let it set for about 20 minutes at room temperature. While it's setting, we started our pot of water to boil. We filled it about halfway up. So when we roll it out and cut it, we can put it straight into the pot to start cooking.
I'm going to roll it.
In like 20 minutes we're gonna roll it out.
I like rolling.
All right, so it's been about 20 minutes. We're ready to start rolling out our pasta. At this point in time, if you have a stand mixer, that pasta attachment, feel free to use that. It's a lot easier, but this is the more like rustic way to do it. It's fun, especially if you have kids. It lets them kind of get their hands a little dirty. So what we want to start out with is just light dusting of flour on whatever surface you're going to be rolling out your dough. So I'm just going to put a little bit on there. This is just to keep it from sticking to your hands. So you're going to grab your dough ball, which will be kind of sticky. So if it's not sticky, then that's a sign that you might need to add a little bit more water. You're just going to roll it out a little bit to get it going, and then you can take a knife, a scraper, whatever you have on hand, and you're just going to cut it into quarters. The reason to do this, it just makes it easier for rolling out. Then you're not working with so much dough all at the same time. And you want to get it pretty thin when you're rolling it out, so using smaller portions just makes that workload a little bit easier on yourself. So flatten out a little bit, grab your rolling pin, yes you can, my friend. And then you're just going to start rolling every which way until you get it pretty thin, and then you're going to cut it. So, Miss Harper.
I'm going to boring.
So after you have your pasta rolled out, this is about the thickness you're looking for. Nothing crazy. Then you're gonna start to cut it into spaghetti. The pieces are not going to be perfect, so I like to just pick it up and fold the sheets into thirds just because it makes cutting faster and easier. So any type of knife, I would not recommend serrated because you're going to mess up your dough, so just any flat. And you're quite literally just going to cut it into as thin or as thick as you want. With fresh pasta, it's going to cook a lot faster than dry. It's going to have a little bit of a different texture, softer, a little bit chewier, but I love it. So when you're done, you'll have pieces that look a little bit like this, a little bit thicker than what you can buy at the store, but again, as thin or as thick as you want. And you're just going to do that to all of your little pasta sheets until you are done. You can set them aside for when you're ready to put them in the water. Miss Parker, do you want to take those apart? Mm-hmm. And then you're just move on to your next one. Keep going until you are done. Look at that. Okay, so the pasta's been going for about 2 minutes. It's pretty much done. When you're looking at it, this is what it'll look like. Pretty soft to the touch, you know, a little chewy to bite because again, it is fresh pasta. And then we're just going to go ahead and take the pot off and strain it straight to a strainer into the sink, and then you are done, good to go. All right, here's our finished homemade pasta. Make sure to keep your eyes out for the next video we have coming, which is homemade pasta sauce to go along. And thank you so much for joining the fun with NOR.